Welcome to the News9 Plus Show on the world's first news and current affairs OTT platform, News9 Plus. Prime Minister Modi has caught the opposition off guard. The Pran Pratishthan of the Ram Temple was announced late last year, but few seem to have grasped the significance of the event. It was believed to be a religious function, which it was, but few could have judged the national event of the kind that the 22nd of January became, with lakhs of people participating. The opposition boycotted the event but had misread the national opinion. With general elections just 2 months away, will Prime Minister Modi's temple trump card trump the opposition? Joining me to discuss this are Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, and Amitabh Tiwari, political commentator and political strategist and commentator, and author and senior journalist Sunita Aron, and my colleague Kartikeya Sharma in the studio. Welcome to the News9 Plus Show. Kartikeya, I want to start by asking you, ab ki baar 400 par, has the BJP checkmated the opposition with the Ram Temple Pran Pratishthan yesterday?
I think the response of the opposition was poor. See, Ram Temple as an emotive issue, I don't think Bharatiya Janata Party is going to make it like the central plank. It is going to be one of the planks. The poverty, Labharti politics, the global positioning of India will be part and parcel of it. So I don't think it will be a single campaign issue like national security of 2019 or governance issue against corruption of 2014. There are a lot of things which Prime Minister is going to talk about in this coming election. But yes, I think the main opposition party, especially, they failed to understand that there is a displaced sense of, or to put it more bluntly, the idea of Nehruvian secular order has been displaced.
Right.
You know, you have a new imagination of the country.
Yes.
And I think that displacement, they thought that they might end up with some sort of sectional vote banks. Now, I don't know how much will it work, because the vote bank of Bharatiya Janata Party is between 38 to 51% in many places.
Yeah.
So even if all of them come together, they'll find them very difficult to beat BJP in North India. Only problem area for BJP are places like Telangana, Karnataka,
Right.
Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Andhra Pradesh. That is the problem area. But
The south, yeah.
But temple there is a word in Hindi called Hava.
Right.
Hava bhi bandhi hai,
Yes.
और समा भी बना दिया है.
हवा भी बांधी और समा भी बना दिया है. Amitabh, I want to ask you, what did the Congress and the opposition actually think they would gain by staying away from the temple ceremony, and do you think it's kind of backfired, their calculation?
I'm not sure what is the thing that they had in mind that they would gain by not attending this inauguration. By just attending, at least they would have contained the damage.
Right.
But that's not happened, and we've seen how emotionally charged the entire atmosphere is in the country. And voting is an emotional decision. It's not a rational decision.
Absolutely.
The Congress or the opposition has also been trying to put this north-south divide. Now, Prime Minister Modi went to 4 or 5 temples in the south of India, and he carried his journey from the ocean. He said the Ram Setu to the Saryu River. So he, in a way, actually established the fact that the Ram is as similar or has a similar role in everyone's hearts, even in the south of India, because Hanuman was born in present-day Karnataka.
Yeah.
Ram spent 5 years of his exile in Karnataka.
Right.
So what the opposition perhaps wanted to paint is as a Modi event, which anyways it was. I mean, even if they would have attended or not attended, the Prime Minister Modi would have hogged the limelight. But what it sends a message to, let's say, highly religious people, or let's say Ram Bhats, who are neutral and who were not largely voting for the BJP, because there are some people like that as well, it rubs them the wrong way.
Right.
Because as Kartikeya ji said that, and I reiterate in many discussions, that BJP's vote base of 37% today comprises largely 2/3 of its ideological core base.
Right.
And 1/3 of it is the cherry on the top, which is the Modi factor, which is due to this development, nationalism, investment friendly image, etc., etc. Now the opposition needs to wean away someone of them, either of them, correct? Either the hardcore ideological voter or the neutrally aligned voter, which is voting for the BJP due to his charisma and many other factors, as we discussed.
Yes.
So by not going, they have alienated the hardcore voter, who may have been disillusioned, or a section of them may have been disillusioned due to poverty, unemployment, agri-districts, etc. But it also does not, this not going also does not work with the neutrally aligned voters. And a lot of people have been saying that it's not going to impact much because whoever was voting for BJP will vote for the BJP, and whoever was voting for Congress anyways would vote for the Congress. Then by this theory, the election is gone, because BJP would be getting 7% and Congress would stay at 20%. Correct?
Right.
So, I mean, this is a bizarre logic which strategies of the Congress party perhaps have conveyed to the leadership. And I see losses here, and containment of damages is very difficult now, because the BJP in the next 2 months is going to maintain this momentum. If you've heard, there is a campaign for helping people who want to see the Ram Mandir across booths, across states. So they would like to maintain this momentum and also play on other factors like development, La Bharti, status, and the TINA factor as well.
That's an important point that you mentioned there, Amitabh. The fact that, it's become a, the building up on that momentum which began last year. I think few of us could have seen the impact of that Pran Pratishthan, but like you mentioned, it's become a movement of sorts, and it's going to continue for the next couple of months. Sunita, I want to ask you, how badly did the opposition misjudge this thing of staying away from the event, and how is it going to, recoil on them if that actually happens, as Amitabh was suggesting?
The demolition of the shrine, I think a lot of people had started saying that temple is no more a political card that any party can encash, especially BJP.
Right.
But they did not realize that they'll have someone like Modi and the BJP under Modi who will be able to build it into a big campaign.
Right.
As till the 1992 they had a campaign, and now they again had it. So definitely not only opposition, but many others who used to say, I was always of the view that Ram Temple will always remain an issue.
Right.
Today, tomorrow, and even I say even in future, because this is something which connects the hearts, and people are very emotional about it.
Yes.
But there were a strong section of people who thought that Ram Temple cannot deliver votes to BJP anymore.
Right.
But they could never foresee that Narendra Modi ji and his team and the RSS and BJP will able to convert it into a mega event. Regarding opposition, perhaps they wanted to toe an ideological line. I've said it again and again that they misjudged it. If Mrs. Gandhi didn't want to go, or Rahul didn't want to go, they should have sent some representative.
Right.
They wouldn't have gained. Not a single vote,
Right.
But they wouldn't have also given a handle to the VHP, RSS cadre who are now painting them as anti-Hindu.
Absolutely.
So perhaps, as Amitabh said, some damage control.
Yes. Gautam, I want to, ask you this point that Sunita raised, the fact that it's actually going to be a handle that the BJP and RSS will now use against the Congress. Look, this is the party that stayed away from the Pran Pratishthan. They boycotted it. What are your views on this? How is the party going to contain that damage if it wants to, hit 3 figures?
I think the party has given up on trying to address the whole nation.
Right.
It is basically addressing what it thinks is its vote bank, but perhaps the Congress realizes also that the vote bank is not exclusive. I mean the minority vote bank is not exclusive to the Congress, but goes across quite a few of the opposition parties.
Right.
Now, with the India Alliance in a quandary on practically everything, from the leadership to the vote sharing, to the seat sharing, it's going to be Mamata Banerjee on its own, it's going to be Nitish on his own. So they've got problems in multiples beyond the stupidity
Right.
of trying not to appeal to the largest section of India, which are the Hindus.
Yeah.
Now, what might have begun as a, if you like, a BJP manifesto come raison d'etre. Remember,
Yeah.
they were at 2 seats
Yes.
before 1990 in
40 years ago.
1984.
Exactly. Yes.
And they went all the way to a coalition government in 6 years. And then they went to a full majority
Right.
10 years after the interim Congress government.
Yeah.
So the Ram temple
Yes.
is sort of woven into the rise of the BJP.
Yes.
So,
Gautam, I'm going to interrupt you.
you know,
Kartikeya has a point to
You see,
make.
you
Yes.
see, it was a catch-22 situation. It
Yeah.
was like tails have been, heads you lose.
Yes, exactly.
Imagine it like a political game,
Right,
Sandeep.
right.
Since you have written the word temple trump card,
Yes.
so the trump card will win in any circumstances.
Yes.
So first, what should have opposition done? A lot of people have said that they should have come, shown grace. They have made an historic.
They wouldn't
blunder.
lose anything
They would
by
have lose
being
anything.
there. Yeah.
Scenario one, the entire opposition sitting with the 7,000 guests.
Yeah.
What would have been the political message? Because
Yeah.
Modi has embraced the Hindu identity as the Prime Minister openly.
Right.
सारे विपक्ष के लोगों को लाइन हाजिर कर दिया.
Yes.
हमारा लीडर कितना ग्रेट है.
हाँ.
So ताली बजाओ.
Right.
So the message to the
Yes.
cadre would have been
Yes.
he line hazir kar diya.
Yeah.
Now what has happened, the reason why in my first
Yeah.
argument I said it's not about religion.
Right.
The entire opposition party is not there, but it doesn't
Right.
mean that the country is not there.
Right.
If you look at the 7,000 people, who's who of Bombay industry,
Yeah.
who is who of film
Yeah, the
industry,
cream of,
who is who of
society.
South India,
Yes.
who is who of the North India.
Yeah.
The entire power circuit of this country was present there.
Yes.
Keval, and what was the message that went
Yeah.
out? केवल मोदी के दुश्मन नहीं थे.
Right.
So, in fact, I would say opposition would have lost in both the cases.
Right.
A little less in the first
Yeah,
scenario. Boycott, a huge loss.
right.
Little loss in the first.
Yeah.
But the messaging but the positioning of this temple card
Yeah.
was such.
Right.
I think it was not only about the ceremony.
Right.
It is about Modi speaking from the dais and the entire
Everyone else
Ambani,
watching, yes.
Ambani,
Yes.
The top honchos
Right.
of Bombay being there,
Right.
part of that 7,000 crowd. You see,
Yeah.
there were no different chairs for these people.
Right.
They all sat together.
Right.
From Kangana Ranaut to
Yeah.
Mukesh Ambani to the film actors to
Right.
A.Y. Raja to Rajinikanth, who subsequently got trolled today. They
Absolutely.
were all sitting together.
But the dilemma of the Congress, Kartikeya, that this is the party that actually opened the locks, and they proudly say that we were the ones who opened the locks of the temple in 1985, in response to the Shah
This was
Bano
the
thing.
party which was also responsible for the installation of idols.
In
Prime Minister
1949,
Jawaharlal Nehru was
exactly.
the
Yes.
was the Prime Minister, and Govind Vallabh Pant was the Chief Minister.
Right,
And
right.
despite Prime Minister protesting,
Yeah.
the idols never left the
No, they
disputed
were always
venue
there,
then.
yes.
And then Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister.
Right.
For 36 hours,
The structure was erected.
the whole Chabutra was made.
Yes.
So, Congress had a role in the most historic way in
Yeah.
context of getting the Ram temple built.
Right.
The issue
but
is,
they don't want to take credit for
I
it.
think the issue is the ideological position that Sonia has taken.
Right.
She
Right.
is the elephant in the room.
Right.
Her ideological position is hard left, which is articulated by Rahul.
Absolutely.
She is not like Indira Gandhi. She is
Sunita-
the one who doesn't go to Devra Baba.
That's Sunita. That's an interesting point that Kartikeya made. The fact that it's actually Sonia Gandhi's ideological position that she's actually left of center and she's actually the socialist thing in the Congress. And like he said, she would never go to Devraha Baba and seek his blessings. Rajiv Gandhi went, but
Anandamayi Ma, I can just go
Yes.
on and go on. Kanchi Wale Baba, I can just go. I have seen those pictures in
For-
black and white in color.
4 years back, there was a kind of rethink in the Congress. This temple runs, when they began their temple runs, Priyanka, Sonia, not Sonia, but Priyanka and Rahul for sure. Kamal Nath, 4 years back, he did that function when the foundation stone of the Ram temple was organized, and he said, look, the Congress did all this for the thing. But somehow the party seems to have corrected its course subsequently. What are the factors that went into their thinking for this?
You see, as Kartikeyan was saying, that they could never take the credit.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that they lost Hindus
Yeah.
to BJP whereas they also lost Muslims because Muslims blamed them for everything.
Yes.
1949,
Right,
1986
exactly. About
unlocking,
60 years, yes.
1989 Shilanyas, and then 1992. Every time Congress was in power, and there are books which says that Rajiv Gandhi didn't know at one time.
Right.
Narasimha Rao
Yes.
was sleeping when
Right.
that it was demolished.
Yeah.
89, we know that it was done in agreement because I remember I was there
Yeah.
when Budha Singh had come, and there was an agreement with BHP that they'll do Shilanyas,
Yes.
and they'll allow Shilanyas in mid of elections.
Right.
And that was the day we knew that they are losing Muslims forever.
Right.
Now, today, they are in the process. They want to win back Muslims
Right.
because they know that for
Yes.
them to get support of a large section of Hindus right now,
Right.
especially till Modi and the infrastructure of the BJP is
Right,
there,
right.
is not possible.
Right.
So they have to win back votes. It may be 20%,
Yes.
Muslims and others
Right.
who do not agree with BJP's ideology, whatever percentage is there,
Right.
they have to get hold of that. Because right now their major battle is to win Muslims from the regional parties.
Yes.
They don't have you have Mamata, you have
Right.
Akhilesh and Mayawati. Everywhere they are facing challenge in every state, despite
Right. And
India.
challenges
Having
for the
said
Congress
so,
all
they-
around. And I want to ask Amitabh this question. Amitabh, the fact that the Congress, we know the dilemma of the Congress, that's very clear. But there's one political party that's wholeheartedly embraced this event, and it's it's gone out literally in the streets. That's the Aam Aadmi Party. What are the Aam Aadmi Party's calculations? Why have they grabbed this event? They've gone out. Chief Minister Kejriwal has said that he's going to facilitate people's visits to Ayodhya. Is that soft Hindutva for the Aam Aadmi Party?
See, essentially, Aam Aadmi Party is today playing a tactical politics.
Right.
So it realizes that what BJP has done actually is that it has seeded or successfully seeded in the minds of the Hindu voters that majority cannot live like a minority in the country.
Right.
Okay? Whether it's a hardcore Hindu, whether it's a liberal Hindu, whether it's a soft Hindutva following or practicing Hindu.
Yeah.
Correct? So this is very clear. Now, if there in a country, you cannot today alienate the 80% majority population. Even in yesterday's speech, which everybody is talking about of Prime Minister Modi, which far inclusive, reaching out to the minorities, etc. But there is an undertone of a political dominance of the majority as well.
Yes.
Correct. So that the Aam Aadmi Party has carefully taken this lesson, and also this lesson from the decimation of the Congress Party,
Right.
or rather the weakening of the Congress Party, or the errors which they have done.
Right.
And the Aam Aadmi Party is today the only regional party. Of course, it is called a national party by the Election Commission.
Yeah.
But I consider only two parties as national, BJP and Congress. Aam Aadmi Party is the only regional party which has today government in 2 states.
Yes.
So it is not bound by the perimeter of any state.
Right.
It is not born out of regionalism.
Right.
It is perhaps one of the only parties which has a Hindi-speaking leader which has appeal across
It's
the
an
nation.
aspirational party. Yeah.
It's an aspirational party, and it realizes that there is an opposition vacuum.
Right.
The weakening of the Congress.
Right.
If the Congress again is reduced to, let's say, 50, 75, 100 seats, whatever, in these 2024 elections,
Right.
then there is going to be a vacuum which it can occupy,
Right.
and that it cannot occupy by being, or rather by alienating the Hindu majority community. See, as Kartikeya ji said, the dilemma of the Congress, see, there is a famous Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, I think is the name of the series. So, उसमें क्या है कि ये होगा तो 2 बातें होंगी,
Yeah.
है ना? और ये होगा तो 2 बातें होंगी.
Right.
अगर आप गए होते,
Right.
ठीक है, तो जैसा कार्तिकेय जी कह रहे हैं कि लाइन हाजिर कर दिया, ठीक है,
Right.
बट वो मैसेज कैडर के लिए होता,
Right.
वो उसके कैडर को इम्पैक्ट करता, जेनेरिक पब्लिक को नहीं इम्पैक्ट करता.
Right.
जाने से ये होता कि वो आपको एंटी हिंदू बताते भी,
Right.
तो भी वो जेनेरिक पब्लिक पे नहीं इम्पैक्ट करता, और वो आपको एंटी माइनॉरिटी बोलते उस वक्त.
Right.
Correct? Because they would have painted.
Yes.
I mean, see, a lot of communication which happens of the BJP is on the WhatsApp channels,
Yes.
Correct.
which very few people have access to, and the Congress does not have the
Very well
institution
summed up,
to
Amitabh. Yeah,
counter
very well
that.
summed up.
That's
Very well
that's
summed
a
up.
good point. Yeah,
we
yeah.
are just looking or hearing the official modes of communication.
Right.
We don't know what is happening on the ground in the WhatsApp groups.
That's
how
right,
they
yeah.
are being slaughtered
Right.
on a daily basis.
Absolutely,
So if they
yeah.
would have gone, then
Yeah.
BJP would have tried to paint them anti-minority.
Yes.
You know, it's a very relevant point
Yeah.
because, you know, Himanta Biswa Sarma did
Yeah.
not allow Rahul Gandhi to enter the temple.
Yes.
So actually, there was no alternative temple there.
For him
so
to visit.
on 22nd,
Yes.
there is no alternate narrative of Rahul Gandhi in a temple.
In another temple.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
he couldn't do that. They didn't allow him.
Amitabh, I want to bring in Gautam. Gautam, the fact is that it's very clearly established now that all the opposition parties are actually trying to cannibalize the Congress's space in the opposition. Aam Aadmi Party wants to do that. The Trinamool Congress is planning to do that as well, it looks like. And Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee led that the Sarva Dharm rally, and she's made some very inflammatory statements as well. But what is the Trinamool's game plan in all of this? How is it planning to be the alternative to the Congress?
I don't know if it's trying to be an alternative to the Congress, but it is, as usual, concentrating on West Bengal and wants a bigger chunk of the, if you like, the 2024 general election vote, leading up also to the next assemblies.
Yeah.
It has no space or tolerance for Congress's shenanigans in West Bengal, and I think that's the main motive.
Right.
And it couldn't care less about this India alliance either, because there is no real chance for Mamata Banerjee to lead it.
Right.
So she couldn't care less about it.
Yes.
Actually, TMC busted itself in Goa elections, you know, despite that photograph of Adani and all that.
Yes.
It just didn't work. You know, parties which are anchored in regional pride generally don't grow out, you know.
Right.
If you look at Sharad Pawar tried his best, he posed in Karnakaran's son, you know, he posed in Sangma from Meghalaya, Tariq Anwar from Congress from Bihar. But then there is no NCP, you just parcel out the seats. The only party which has the potential is right now in the semi-comatose mode is Aam Aadmi Party.
Right.
All said and done, they are not anchored in Delhi's local politics. They have a sarkar in Delhi. They have a they have a sarkar in Punjab.
Yeah.
They had a chance in Himachal Pradesh, and you know they fought well. They got 10% of the votes in Gujarat.
Right.
But whether AAP will remain a sort of a West India party like Tribune, you know, focused on the western side, or will it turn out to be a Times of India or Hindustan Times sort of a
that's
thing?
interesting.
But,
Tribune or a Times of India. Right. That's a good analogy. But Kartikeya, I want to close by asking you this thing that, you know, one of our panelists also mentioned it. Will the Ram temple have an impact south of the Vindhyas, where there are 127 Lok Sabha seats and the BJP is just won a handful? It has the smallest footprint there.
Prime Minister has done his job. Prime Minister has done his job by showcasing that there is a cultural connect between North and South, which predates Dravidian politics, which predates the politics of the Kannadiga pride, or predates the politics of Andhra and Telangana pride. He has done that. The only issue is that the BJP is right now organizationally not strong enough to take on regional parties. That one. Secondly, identities are also fractured. For example, you have a large presence of Christians in Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
You have a large presence of Christians in Kerala.
Yes.
You have a large presence of Christians who do not document themselves as Christians but are in the scheduled list because the benefits go to them in Tamil Nadu also. That is one. And secondly, BJP has not been able to put its house in order in various states.
Yes.
If you look at Karnataka, they are fighting all the time.
Yes.
Even in Telangana, the house is not in order.
Yes.
Andhra, it is non-existent. They have not been able to create that organizational grid which a party should have in Tamil Nadu. So yes, that barrier is there. But I think probably they may need to change the strategy.
Right.
Maybe they need to go back into alliances in South India. Not dominate them, but respect them. You know, I think if you ask me, BJP, the way it behaves in West and North, should behave in South India the way they behave in Northeast India.
Right. Accommodative.
Accommodative. I think they will need a different politics for South India.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, and that in fact is actually brings me to the close of this discussion. Thank you very much, Gautam, Sunita, and Amitabh for joining us, and Kartikeya. The fact that This is Prime Minister Modi's temple trump card, but will it work south of the Vindhyas where the BJP has the smallest footprint? We'll have to wait and watch 3 months from now. You can download the News9 Plus app and watch our 5-part series on the return of Ram. India's playback singers have given the music industry some of its biggest hits. They've seen the industry laughing all the way to the bank. Singers, however, haven't got a share of that pie. But now the tide has turned. Last year, India's playback singers won a landmark deal with the music industry to get royalties for their songs. And joining me today to discuss the impact of this agreement is Sanjay Tandon, founder and managing director of the Indian Singers and Musicians Rights Association. Sanjay, welcome to the News9 Plus Show. We are joined by my colleague.
Thank you, Lokeshji.
We're joined by my colleague Chetna Gupta, who has also put a documentary on this together. Sanjay, I want to start by asking you, congratulations, big victory.
Thank you.
Long in the pipeline, 30 years of fighting the music industry, and you finally won that battle?
Yeah, 30 years, yes, 33 years to be precise. 1990, and we are in 2024. Yes, been 3 decades.
Right. What is 33 years in a 5,000-year civilization? But but I want to start by asking you, Sanjay, this tell us how big, how much of a landmark deal this is. Convincing an industry, any industry, to part with royalties is an achievement in itself. How do these singers kind of bandy together and get the music industry to actually pay?
Yeah, that's what, for 30 long years, right, or 33 years, we have been struggling to have royalties for the artists of the country, the singers and the musicians. And in 2012, the law was amended so that singers could now start getting their royalties from wherever their music or their sung songs are commercially exploited.
Right.
So that's where we went. And it is, as you're rightly saying, it's very difficult to get royalties out of not only the music labels, but also out of the users. Because, the law in 2012 had said that wherever the songs are being played, they'll get royalties, like the radio station, television station, OTT platforms, hotels, restaurants, departmental stores, and everywhere. But it really never happened. There were a lot of challenges. And I'm so happy that the music industry this time around, all the music labels of the country, we got together and we joined hands in October 2012 and we got this deal done. Big thing, big achievement. Considering that the law was just amended in 2012, we're just 10 years old, and therefore it's a great achievement for the singers of the country.
So, Sanjay, have the first payouts been made to the singers for the royalties?
Well, I think we have already distributed about 20 crores till date.
Right.
But the deal money, the money that we have got from the deal, is the first installment of that is going to be distributed in a month's time.
Right. Oh, okay. The first installment in a month's time. That's the news peg right there, Chetna. But tell us, you worked on this documentary, Chetna, and did it surprise you, the fact that musicians weren't being paid at all for the last 3 decades?
If we go to the past history itself, while we were interviewing Anup Jaluta, most famous singer, so he was telling us about the fact that Lata Mangeshkar, who is like Nightingale of India itself, she used to receive 6,000 as royalty, right, which is like very less amount.
Which is, well, I can't think of something smaller than peanuts, but yeah, that would be it.
But like if we are taking the breakdown of 6,000 itself, nothing can be bought.
Right.
In fact, right? And she's like one of the legends of India, if we are talking.
Sanjay, this point that Chetna made, that, legends like Lata Mangeshkar, Lata Di were being paid peanuts. But now that has changed. What next? I mean, I'm told that you're working now on getting technicians their rights as well, that musicians who, take part in songs, they compose music, they would also get paid.
Yeah, so the first step was to get recognition for the rights of the singers, the mainstream singers, so as to speak, the Lata Jis and the Asha Jis of the world. So I got that thing plus first streamlined, and then last year in October we also decided, because of the COVID that we were struck with, that even musicians also required to be paid the royalties. Those little pieces of music that are played. Tang, 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 tang. That's that's a beautiful and a very popular piece. But the musician of that piece does not receive any royalties in India. So we have started doing that from October, and that's the reason why I'm saying the first payouts will happen in a month's time. And I'm so excited about that.
Absolutely. I mean, what a victory. I mean, and after 33 years, as you mentioned, Sanjay, I mean, congratulations to you and your team for not losing your way and, keeping up with the struggle. But Sanjay, what is it globally? How does it work out? Is this the same? Are we following global best practices when it comes to royalties?
Yes, of course, we are. In fact, we are the selected few countries who are doing it right now. It's a big challenge because you see the composers and songwriters, of course, were getting royalties. But the artist royalties, that is the performers royalties, as they are called, the performers, they're performers. So performers do get royalties, but it varies. So I'm happy to say that we, as in India, are now in one of the few countries that are really going to pay out to the artists of the country, the musicians and the singers. And let me tell you that I have also got Isamra, which is the company which looks after this copyright of artists, associated with 52 country societies all across the globe. Which means wherever Indian artists' songs are now going to be played in the world, we are going to receive royalties from there and distribute it here, and same thing from here.
Right. So, Sanjay, is the music industry, it's had its own share of, problems with piracy and, downloads and all of that. Is the music industry in the condition now to pay artists, musicians, technicians?
Well, this is exactly the proposed agreement that we did in April last year with music labels of the country, with the result that now singers and the musicians are going to get 50 crore rupees a year from all the music companies put together. And which is a big amount as far as even international practices are concerned.
Yes. So, and that lump sum, I'm told, is going to increase every 4 years, 4 or 5 years, 5% over the next 4 years.
No, it's going to increase 5% every year until it reaches 60 crores. And then we are going to get 25% of whatever the music industry is going to collect. So it's a phase-in period that we have done, because things which never existed in India for the past 70 years, you can understand we need to phase it in. So we have been successfully able to do that. And just let me add to this, the amount of royalties that are going to that we are targeting it's going to increase.
Chetna, I'm going to come back to you very quickly. Who are the singers here in this fight for royalties? Who are the star musicians who actually led the charge?
If I talk about them, the biggest singer I would say, of course, Lata Di. She's the one who's generated. She's the one who took the first voice.
Yes, absolutely.
And another Anup Jalota, and then Kumar Sanu have fought over the period of time. Sonu Nigam, Alka Yagnik, they have fought so hardly for this battle. And if, in fact, I would say there is big contribution of Javed Akhtar as well. While he was in parliament, so he stood up for the singers, for their rights. As if we are talking about their share of music, so that is like incredibly less. Right?
Which is what the whole fight was about.
Exactly.
Sanjay, who were the heroes in this fight? Who fought shoulder to shoulder with you in this? Who do you want to make special mention of?
Yeah, well, we started with Lata ji and me, and then Sonu Nigam ji, Alka Yagnik ji, and Suresh Vatkar ji, and all the legendary people really joined this particular struggle. And that's why we lasted for 33 years, because we were convinced that definitely we are going to get the justice one day or the other.
Right, and you have indeed. Thank you very much, Sanjay, for joining us, and my colleague Chetna.
Thank you so much, Sandeep.
A 33-year struggle that's ended now with the musicians finally getting a share of their royalties.
चौदहवीं का चांद हो या आफताब हो, जो भी हो तुम खुदा की कसम लाजवाब हो. इसकी रॉयल्टी मुझे आनी चाहिए ना.
करोड़ों करोड़ों अरबों रुपया जो कंपनीज के पास जा रहा है, वो लोगों ने कलेक्ट कर रहा है, तो उनमें से थोड़ा बहुत सिंगर्स को, थोड़ा बहुत म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर्स को, थोड़ा बहुत लिरिक्स राइटर को ये आप दे देंगे तो आपका क्या जाएगा?
रफी साहब, आपने जो बात की है, नहीं मैं आपके साथ गाऊंगा नहीं. मैंने कहा आप क्यों तकलीफ कर रहे हैं, मैं ही नहीं गाऊंगी आपके साथ.
he had not talking terms with Rafi Saab for some time because Rafi Saab saying no, we don't want royalty.
तो कहने हम रॉयल्टी नहीं देते हैं। मैंने कहा मैं तो लेती हूँ।
That won't be possible because they are not creating anything. These arguments has no end.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has said India not being a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council is absurd. Now, the American entrepreneur said countries with excessive power don't want to give it up. We leave you with this documentary by Aditya Raj Kaul on the absurdity of the fact that the world's largest democracy is not part of the UN Security Council. Thank you for watching.
Our country faced the horrors of terror long before the world took serious note of it. Over the decades, terrorism in different names and forms tried to hurt India.
During COVID, we had unrelenting cross-border terrorism from Pakistan.
Tell me one problem that the UN has solved.
Fighting terrorism is a central priority for the action of the United Nations.
The UN has a folk tongue. They speak with several tongues.